Hey guys, it's Eagle Bria Serenity. I'm back at you with another prophetic word. This prophetic word is called the resistance. The Lord gave me this prophetic word last year around the same time I released the prophetic word about the civil wars that are coming, the mass exodus, and the cities called heaven. Okay, this is related to that. This was given to me at the same time, but the Lord did not have me release this because it was not time to release it, but he brought it back to my remembrance and the time is now. I had actually lost this and I was looking all over for it and it wasn't where the rest of my notes are, and I was beginning to panic because I'm like, Lord, I cannot find it and you brought this back to my remembrance, so it must be somewhere. And the Lord had showed me a vision of my suitcase, and when I looked in this suitcase, which was empty, the only thing that was in it was this, and I found the notes for this prophetic word with everything that he needed us to know. And I was like, okay, the fact that it was even in a suitcase is symbolic in itself, and it wasn't with the rest of my notes. The Lord is really heavily insinuating that it's time to go. The time to have a mass exodus is coming upon us, and people who have ears, let them hear. This word is also connected to the prophetic word that I just released about saving yourself. The Lord had revealed to me that when it comes time for the Lord's people to prepare and make a mass exodus, there will be much resistance. The Lord is going to say, okay, come, the land is ready. One by one we will make excuses. And the Lord had led me to Luke chapter 14 verses 17 through 24. Go read those passages. Okay, the Lord said people are not going to want to leave this country as we know it to be in the present moment behind, patriotic in the wrong moment. The Lord is going to give people an opportunity to go because of the things that are getting ready to happen here. The Lord is giving a lot of people the inkling to get out while they still can. Now, some people have not had that put in their spirit. Some people have been ordered to stay here, like I have said before, but there are a lot of people who are going to be exiting in a mass number for a reason, and people are going to be making excuses because they are going to want to be attached to Egypt. Like, they're going to want to stay in Egypt. They don't want to leave Egypt. They're going to choose to be patriotic in the wrong moment when the Lord is giving them the opportunity to go. The Lord said they will not want to leave their cars, their families, jobs, or false sense of security. Many people will deny God and life with him to stay with their families. Imagine the Lord inviting us to supper and we said, I have to go home to my wife, or I got to get home to my kids. I can't go have dinner with the Lord. I got to go have dinner with my kids. That's exactly what's getting ready to happen. He's getting ready to give us an opportunity to be free. He's going to give us an opportunity to be spared. And a lot of people are going to be making excuses. Like I said, imagine the Lord inviting us to supper and we said we have to go home to our wives or our husbands. And why is your husband or your wife not with you? Very people who have been prophesying and teaching about the Great Supper will be the most resistant during the revolution and exodus. Mass exodus is coming and the revolution is already here. And people who have been prophesying and talking all this stuff, they are going to be the people who are resistant to what the Lord wants the people to do. They are going to be the people who are going to be switching it up. They are going to be the people who are singing a completely different tune when stuff hits the fan. People who will be the loudest will be the very people who will not be willing to give up slavery and go to the promised land. There is a land the Lord wants us to have. There is a place that he wants us to go. And the people who get the opportunity to go are not going to want to go because of fear, because they don't want to release what is familiar to them. They don't want to let go of Egypt. They don't want to leave Egypt. Go watch the prophetic word I had uploaded last year where I was talking about the civil war and the mass exodus and all these things. This will make a little bit more sense to you, but do understand that a lot of people who are on fire for God and the Lord is going to tell them like, okay, go, okay, come, I got something better for you. They're going to want to stay here to their own detriment. They're going to want to stay connected to the United States of America. And the Lord's going to give a lot of his people a chance, an opportunity to be spared. And a lot of people are not going to take it. A lot of people will be willing to deny God and deny the faith just to be able to stay with their families. The Lord said this is something that a lot of people have been looking forward to, but they will not come. A lot of people will not come. It's not even going to be like, oh, we missed it or we missed the opportunity. It's literally going to, people going to look at it and they're going to be like, nah. That's what's going to happen. People are going to see an opportunity. The Lord's going to open a door and people are going to not want to walk through. They don't want to leave their jobs. They don't want to leave their car. They don't want to leave their family. They don't want to leave their house. They're going to have every excuse in the book to not take that step forward on faith. A lot of people who are on fire for God that he's doing this for are not even going to show. They're not even going to go. They're not even going to go. Lord had reminded me of a quotation. I think it was either from Sojourner Truth or Harriet Tubman, where it says, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. A lot of people in America don't understand that they are a slave. I said this in another video before. A lot of people do not understand you're a slave here. There is no freedom here. This is an illusion. This is an illusion, and the bubble is getting ready to be popped. The illusion is getting ready to crumble, and it's not going to be until people see the tsunami wave that they understand they made the wrong choice. The Lord said just how many of us stayed on the plantation in fear or too attached to the way of life, it will be the same way. Families will turn against families. They will betray each other, and they will try to keep each other from going. Some of you will want to go, And then they will try to sabotage you and keep you from going. Just how on the plantations, there were some folk who were not kinfolk, right? Who was in there snitching on people and were sabotaging plans, keeping people from getting to freedom. It will be the same way. I told you guys, it's going to feel like the hands of time are going backwards. It's going to feel like we're going back in time, and people are going to be like, oh my goodness, how did we get back here? Understand that the Lord keeps using slavery as a theme with a lot of my prophetic words for a reason. For a reason. There is a reason. He is very intentional when he shows me things like that, because that is what they're going for. Don't mind them. So families are going to turn against families when it comes to this type of stuff. People are going to betray you. And this is why I told you guys that you guys really got to know who's for you and who's not. Because in the times to come, you got to make sure that the people around you is solid. It's getting ready to happen in the U.S. and all around the world. It's going to impact us in such a way that people who are supposed to be your blood, that you're supposed to be like, yeah, that's my person, is going to see you as an enemy. They're going to be snitching on you. You're going to be trying to be a part of the movement. You're going to be trying to be part of the revolution. They're going to be calling them people on you. We're trying to sabotage you. That's why the Lord been telling y'all to get away from the people y'all been around. Even though a lot of people are like, I don't really see a need. I don't even see a reason to get away from this person. I don't see a reason I need to stop talking to this person. This is why people are going to be telling on you. Think of the Diary of Anne Frank. Like, that seems dramatic, but y'all need to be thinking like that. Some of these people the Lord telling y'all to get away from them is because the Lord is thinking so far ahead of you. People are going to be turning on each other. They are going to be tattletelling on each other. They are going to be going to the government to sabotage people. They are going to be doing other things to keep you from being free. You're going to be telling your family, oh, we should leave, or we should go here. I heard about this. I heard about the Underground Railroad. I heard about this. And they're going to tell on you. They're going to tell massa on you. Okay? This is why the Lord is telling a lot of people, save yourself. And once you get to your ark, and once you get to a place where you are safe, you can help people who want to be helped. But you cannot help anybody if you are compromised. A lot of these people are not going to want to go. They're not going to take the opportunity the Lord is going to give them to go. Too attached to Egypt. They're too attached to the plantation. They're not going to want to leave. Even if they know they can have a better life, they're still not going to want to leave. And you guys are going to have to be okay with the people who do not want to be saved, for the people who do not want to change. Okay, you cannot save everybody. And if you got to choose between them and you, choose God and choose yourself and the people in your covering. Y'all can't say a Bria Serenity ain't tell y'all. Y'all been rocking with me this long. I've been with y'all this long. And y'all still got me. But understand, times are getting ready to change. You're not going to be able to trust everybody anymore. Some of our videos aren't even going to be available anymore. So y'all got us as long as y'all got us. But there will be a time where our videos will be taken down. So a lot of these people don't even know that they're slaves. And a lot of people are going to be trying to be Harriet Tubmans and Sojourner Truths and Nat Turners. And people are going to not want to be a part of what they're doing. And they will be seen as a threat. It will be seen as a threat. Oh, you're going to mess up my situation I got going on. A lot of people are going to deny the faith, and they're going to betray family to try to maintain a life here. I'm telling y'all, it's about to get ugly. Lord said that the people will run to the church and it will be desolate. The church, most of them will not be able to help anyone, especially when Pharaoh, this demonic being, takes over. They're going to run away from Jesus to the church and be met with disappointments. People are going to run away from Jesus and go to the church. Jesus is going to be like, I'm right here. They're going to run to religion instead. We're not going to trust Jesus. We're just going to go to the church. And they're going to get to the church thinking that he's going to be there. And they will be disappointed. I've been saying this on my channel consistently for a long time. He said the churches will be burned down. The churches will not be available. People will not be able to go and find help and seek refuge the way they used to anymore. That is going to be over. Most of the churches will not be able to help anyone, especially when Pharaoh, this demonic being, takes over. Because his people will reject him and this promised land, he will send us out by twos, sometimes alone, to save the poor, the wounded and injured, people who are paralyzed, people who desire to be saved but cannot save themselves, and evangelize to non-believers. It will no longer be a population of people who are heavily Christian anymore. And we will be sent out to perform miracles. We will be sent out to be revolutionary, okay, to speak out against the things that are happening. Many believers will say they follow Christ, but when the revolution comes, their faulty foundations will be revealed. They will realize that even though they were living this life, they truly never counted the cost. People never counted the cost of Christianity, because in America, we are so spoiled here. We can openly worship. There's no persecution. We got it real nice here. Even though they mock Jesus openly all the time, we haven't had it like a lot of our brothers and sisters in China or any of these other areas on other continents where people are being persecuted and being murdered for believing in Jesus and reading the Bible. A lot of us have had it so good here. We didn't even consider that persecution would be knocking at our door. Even though we spent so much time in this book, a lot of us just never believed that it could be us. Just, oh, it can never be us. God is so over this nation. Some of us are just flat out delusional. So a lot of people who gave their lives over to Christ did not count the cost of Christianity, or their leaders did not prepare them for persecution. They did not talk about that. They did not say, hey, there's going to come a time where our lives may be at risk to share the gospel. Some of us may die, be martyrs for the gospel. That's how serious some things are going to get. There will come a time where the Bible is illegal. There will be no more Bible app. There will be no more Bible study at Starbucks. People will be at underground locations, in tents and huts, just trying to worship openly and be able to connect. And then some of us are going to be connected with each other, not taking it for granted, because we're going to be like, dang, I don't know if I'm going to see you again. And we're going to have to start treating other brothers and sisters in Christ as if it's our last time seeing them, because that's how bad things are going to get in the near future. Now remember what Jesus said. He said, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. A lot of these people who are going to be resistant to what Jesus is trying to do, to the revolution, to all the stuff that he's trying to get us to do, to the door that's going to be open, are not going to be worthy of being his disciple. They are going to forsake their faith to hold on to Egypt. They're going to deny their faith to be able to live under Pharaoh's rule. Demonic principality that's getting ready to really make its grand entrance. Many of you have been called and have been called to the army of the Lord to follow him, but you must count the cost. You have to count the cost. And if you have not counted the cost, you need to be counting it now. You need to be counting it now. The Lord said that his people have had many false starts. And this is because we always tried to take a new start. We always tried to thrive in a land that was meant to suppress us. So all the things we were trying to do was never going to work here. We separated ourselves and removed ourselves from the illusion that is our government. Okay, be on the lookout for that. The Lord has a promised land for his people. He is getting ready to open the door for people to make a mass exit. And a lot of people are not going to want to leave because they are going to be scared. The Lord said many people will be called to be like Sojourner and Harriet, and many others evangelizing and bringing people into the promised land. The Lord wants us to fill it with as many people as possible. So because a lot of people are not going to want to go and they're going to resist leaving and they're not going to be a part of the mass exodus, we're going to have a lot of space available. There's going to be a lot of abundance and opportunities for people to come, and the Lord wants us to help the people who want help and bring those people to the promised land. The Lord said when the mass exodus occurs, some of us will not return home for a long time. I remember I had a dream or a vision of returning to my childhood home after the revolution, and I saw the homeless people occupying it. Like a lot of the houses were burnt down, graffiti, just, you know, people had taken over it. There was just a lot of homeless people. It had been so long in my dream that I couldn't even remember what some of my family members looked like. And I went back to some of those old places to try to see if I could find pictures. Like, that's why I even went back. You know, I somehow ended up coming back here in my dream, but I was looking for pictures of my family. That's what I was looking for. I didn't have any pictures of them, and I was trying to find something, but I couldn't find anything. I was searching high and low for journals and photographs and anything that I could just have of my family, and it was just like all that stuff was like gone. And the Lord also wanted to warn his people once again. He said, do not allow family to keep you from Jesus. Detach if you have to let them go and pray for them. The Lord calls us to get up and go. You better get up and go. And if they do not want to come, leave them and save yourself. It's not worth what you will have to experience if you stay. The Lord had also led me to Luke chapter 14 verses 26 through 29, where it says, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and his own life, also he cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has had enough to finish it, lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king does not sit down first and consider whether he is able with tens thousands to meet him who come against him with 20,000? Or else while the other is still a great ways off, he sends a delegation and asks conditions of peace. So likewise, whoever of you does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple. That actually was like 26 through 30. But like I said, the Lord wants us to count the cost. He does not want people to allow their families to keep them from Jesus or doing what he is calling them to do. The mass exodus is upon us, and there's going to be a major resistance. There are going to be a lot of people trying to compromise family members, friends, co-workers alike from leaving, turning people in, calling the government all types of crazy stuff to keep people from leaving. I also mentioned in my other prophetic word that there was going to come a time where we were going to be trying to leave, and they're going to be coming after us with helicopters, military tanks, all types of stuff to keep us from leaving. And there are going to be some people who heeded the Lord's warning and got out of here before things got bad. And then there's going to be some people who are not going to try to leave until they see the wave. And when they see the wave, they see the tsunami coming, then they're going to want to run, but it's going to be too late by then. By the time people begin to see the destruction, it's too late. It's going to be too late to be running to get your passport. It's going to be too late to be running to move to a certain part of the country, to be doing the stuff that you should have been thinking about. It's going to be too late for you to be trying to leave behind your family that the Lord been telling you to leave for the longest. It's going to be too late for you to break up with that man or that woman. You can still do it, but now you up a creek without a paddle. It's going to be too much going on. Okay, you're going to be sabotaged. So you guys really need to be in the presence of the Lord and understand the resistance, the revolution. Well, the revolution is already here. The resistance has not begun yet, but there is going to be a mass exodus, and the Lord is going to be telling people, okay, come. There is going to be a land that is prepared for some people. It may be subjective, where some people go over here, other people go over there, and it's going to be a place where people are building cities called heaven, where people are going to be able to basically migrate and go. They may have to cross a large body of water to get there. And they're going to make it really difficult for people to go. Some people, like I said, people are going to be like, hey, we out of here. People have gotten on the Xiang Hongshu app, and they have began to realize the American dream is an illusion. It's not real. We're actually slaves. They've been trying to tell us, like, okay, this stuff is normal and it's not normal. Now, a lot of people who look like me knew that. We've been knew that a lot of this stuff is meant and designed to keep us struggling. But a lot of people who actually were doing pretty well, who are not doing so well anymore, are beginning to realize something's wrong. They're beginning to realize that people who live in other countries, on other continents, are having a better quality of life. They're doing way better than us. They're way healthier than us. Their groceries cost less. They actually own the property that they pay for. Preparing a lot of people to make a mass exodus. And I'm telling you guys, do not wait. Do not wait. If the Lord is putting it in your spirit to go, if the Lord has been telling you to move out the country, if he has a certain place in mind for you, wherever that may be, if he's been telling you to dip, if he's been telling you to leave behind the place that you're at, do not wait until you see the tsunami wave to run, because you're not going to be able to outrun it. Go back and watch the prophetic words that are connected to this one, because then this one will make a little bit more sense. And go back and read the Bible scriptures that I referenced for this video. But do understand that the tsunami wave is coming. Not just like the West Coast prophecies about the tsunami hitting. Like, not just those, but also the destruction that is coming to U.S. soil. The civil wars that are coming to U.S. soil. A lot of people are going to resist. A lot of people are not going to comply. A lot of people are going to be like, no, we're not having this. It's about to get real political. Pay attention to what some of your favorite prophets and pastors do in these times. How they respond, what their thoughts are. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to step down. I don't think this is for me anymore, because it's going to be getting too real. They didn't count the cost. They weren't even able to see their mission through because they didn't count the cost. They were in it for the wrong reasons. They were not able to forsake all for Jesus. Like, it wasn't ever about a relationship. It was about opportunity. It was about power. Remember, I also told you guys that marriage licenses God had nothing to do with them. And in time, you guys are going to understand why that is. You know, there's plenty of evidence as to why we should not be using them. But going forward, y'all definitely should not be using them. It's going to be really difficult to do anything. They're going to be controlling marriages with those marriage licenses. They're going to do things with them that you guys didn't even think were possible to do with a marriage license. It's going to be so difficult. It's going to be very hard for you to get divorced. If you are in an abusive situation, if you are in a marriage with somebody that you know is a counterfeit, if you are in a marriage with somebody that you know has put their hands on you, that has been harmful to you or your children, and they have not changed, and it's been years, and you've been standing and praying, get out. Get out, because soon you're not going to be able to get out. You're not going to be able to get out. You're going to be stuck there. It's going to be really hard for people to get a divorce. And I said this in another prophetic word as well. If you get married in the United States and you get a marriage license and something goes wrong, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a divorce. So you better be sure that this is really somebody the Lord wants you to marry. That's why I saw visions of so much bloodshed when it came to these counterfeit marriages. I saw so many people killing their spouses. So you guys be careful, okay? Be on the lookout for the resistance. Be on the lookout for the things that are happening in the revolution. And be mindful that you are men and women of God. And do not comply. Be understanding that there's going to be a time, there's going to be an opportunity that comes for the Lord to tell his people to leave in a mass number. A lot of people are going to be out of here. They're going to be fight. They're going to be gone. And a lot of people are going to leave And a lot of people are going to be resistant. And the people who are resistant are not going to leave till later. They're not going to want to leave until the tsunami comes. But by the time the tsunami gets here, it's going to be too late. When you guys get that inkling, when you guys get that opportunity to go, go. The Lord has been sending you dreams about this. If he's been telling you this, go. He is preparing you and preparing a place for his people, so that some of us can be spared from what's getting ready to happen. I said a lot of people are going to be having survivor's guilt. I don't even know how this is going to look in real time, but I can feel it spiritually. Like, many things happening in the spirit realm right now, getting ready to push out a lot of things. But you guys, the time is here and the time is now that you guys really need to be seeking the Lord about where you're supposed to be and what your mission is and what you're supposed to be doing. Like I said, everybody is not going to be called to go. The Lord is going to give a lot of his people the opportunity to go. The Lord is going to give a lot of his people an opportunity to make a mass exodus before things get bad. And a lot of people are not going to want to take it. A lot of people are not going to want to take the opportunity while they still have the ability to. When you guys see this opportunity come, do not take it lightly. But go back and watch those prophetic words. I linked a lot of them up here. So you guys can go back and reference those. Make sure you look up those scriptures. My name is Abria Serenity. And if you haven't already, click that like and subscribe button. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss any more uploads from me. I love you all with the love of the Lord. And I'll see you guys next time.